happy day after Mario Day to you. Welcome to ham number 14, I think. Hunnaball AM, number 14. Yep, that's right. Might be 13. I don't know. Might be, shit. Trey Hendrickson's a Raven. In what has become quite the development in the modern NFL. What is up? I'm Hunnaball, and I am here to rant about Bam Adebayo and talk about receivers. But I'd be damned if I didn't lead with the big NFL news of the day, which is that Trey Hendrickson is going to Baltimore on a 4-year, $112 million contract, which, if I'm not mistaken, is more than acclaimed and esteemed pass rusher Jalen Phillips. What is up, Donnie? You didn't hear? You didn't hear the news? This is a done deal. Pretty wild stuff. We got to do the connections as well, but I think that's kind of low on the list of priorities right now. I want to make sure that the contracts are not the same as him and Jalen Phillips, but that is, nope, you got less than Jalen Phillips. Cool. Nice. Very fun. Very, very, very cool. All right. Well, it's an upside play for Carolina and a bargain for the Baltimore Ravens, who made away like bandits this free agency period. All of a sudden, the Ravens, who were having a terrible offseason, now look, I hate to say it, kind of smart. Kind of smart. In case you missed it, in case you woke up without, this is how I find out. Yeah, seriously. This is the place to do it, Donnie. In case you missed it, which I doubt anyone did, it was all over the news last night because an unprecedented situation broke out in Baltimore last night. Late afternoon? Depends. Trey Hendrickson, no, MAXX CROSBY, who was supposed to play in Baltimore in exchange for 2 first-round picks going back to Vegas, their 2026 pick this year and the following, has now gone back to the Raiders. And in return, the Ravens have pivoted towards Trey Hendrickson. There's a lot to unpack here from a football perspective, but also an honor perspective. I don't know. When I make a deal, I like to think that that deal is final. You know, if I'm out here, Crosby going to the Cowboys and Gary's coming back probably. I'd be pretty surprised from everything I've heard reporting wise. I think the Cowboys are going to stick and stick with Rashawn Gary. They believe in him to be the next great pass rusher. I mean, how could you not? But what was I saying? So it brings up a lot of questions, right? About deals, about, protecting your team, skirting the rules. The Ravens are one of the few teams that actually do this. They've done this before a few times. Still, though, not to this scale, not to where the offseason didn't break their way. And from everything I've heard, more or less what happened was, and this again could be conjecture, but I don't think so. More or less what happened is the Ravens went into free agency expecting to bring back some of their guys, at least. Anyone, please. They didn't bring back Isaiah Likely. They didn't bring back Pat Ricard. They didn't bring back, those are the main guys. They didn't bring back, it's too early. Pretty much everyone else. They didn't bring, God damn it. I just got to look up a list. There's so many people the Ravens didn't bring back. And they assumed that they would be able to do that. Tyler Linderbaum, hello. Charlie Kolar, Alohi Gilman, Draymond Jones. These are all guys they would have thought, like, God damn, at least one of these guys will come back. They figured a few. They were actually apparently really holding their breath about Tyler Linderbaum. So there's a good shot, Linderbaum, yeah, exactly. There's a good shot that what happened was, not what happened, this is objectively what happened. The Raiders picked up Tyler Linderbaum, and the Ravens got pissed. And they said, what the hell? You took our center and our pass rusher, which all the Raiders fans were doing victory laps about, like, oh, we traded MAXX CROSBY for 2 firsts and Tyler Linderbaum. And it's like, that's really not how it worked. But the Raiders backing up the Brinks truck for Tyler Linderbaum, paying him obscene money, really upset the Ravens, apparently, because they wanted to bring him back. The Giants were also in the running, but they weren't going to pay $27 million a year annually to keep Linderbaum on the team, or to get Linderbaum on the team. So it makes sense. So the Raiders kind of, were having a little too much fun. The Raiders were drunk behind the wheel, and the Ravens called the cops. They snitched. They said, we're not doing this. They were salty that none of their free agents came back. So in response, they nixed the trade that they agreed on, thus screwing the Raiders and their offseason plans. Now, from everything I've heard, my sources are telling me that Maxx Crosby will stick with the Raiders more likely than not, and the Raiders will live with it. And more importantly, they intend to sign all of the free agents that they brought on. However, it does kind of make people feel a certain way. And it does kind of, I don't know, just rub people's, dare I say, Ravens feathers wrong, because the Ravens are the only team that does this. You know, could you imagine if the Cowboys, after everyone was like flaming them for the Micah Parsons trade, said, you know what, actually, I don't want to do it. Let's not do it. can scratch the whole thing, right? How would you have felt about that, Donnie, as a Packers fan? What if when the Giants traded for Darren Waller, the Raiders nixed it, or the Giants nixed it? That probably would have helped us out long term, but still, it just sets a bad precedent with a player of this magnitude getting bounced back from team to team to team, and now the Raiders are more or less stuck. I am not buying the failed physical thing. All the Twitter doctors are saying that he was ahead of schedule, that him not being in crutches a month or two after meniscus surgery is impressive, if nothing else. I find it hard to believe. Maybe this works out. Maybe Maxx Crosby sticks with the Raiders and they get real good. I had someone text me saying the Raiders are going to be real good. I'd call a hit on Cherry. Yeah, I believe it. Someone texted me the Raiders are going to be real good, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm not ready to jump ship quite yet. But what I will say is clearly the Ravens had a plan. Once the whole free agency thing didn't go their way, the Ravens are cowards, and I love it. Yeah, let me go back to the Ravens tweet here. Giants fan 10 is happy, and honestly, I can't blame you. Look, as a third party with pretty much no skin in the game, I'm here to watch the fireworks. But I can't lie. If this were the Giants, I'd be pretty upset. So I understand Raiders fans and Raiders, the team, their frustration. I get it. So time will tell what happens. It seems like the Raiders are now going to have to keep Maxx Crosby. They just rage baited the whole league. What a baller move. Yeah, apparently that's what you have to do to get ahead. Fuck the Ravens. The Raiders fan. It's on site with the Ravens GM. There it is. As a Raiders fan, I don't know whether to be happy or upset at the Ravens. It seems like most Raiders fans have picked a lane. It seems like most Raiders fans are not happy right now. But I mean, look, if the offseason stays the same, then there you go. Maybe the Raiders are actually for real deal contenders. But at the same time, the Ravens, man, what an underhanded move. Crosby's probably going to get traded for less. Well, no doubt. If they do trade him, he's definitely not going to go for 2-1s now. Now that he's failed a physical. The Ravens just, not only did they give Maxx Crosby back, but they gave every other team in the NFL that was looking at Maxx Crosby a bunch of leverage. Now, a lot of those teams that were in play to get Maxx Crosby have now solved edge rusher. I'm of the opinion that you can never have too many great edge rushers, but I understand a GM not wanting to pay for Maxx Crosby coming off a knee injury with extra draft capital. The Ravens now have a pass rusher that I don't want to say is the same as Maxx Crosby, but they're pretty, you know, they're both elites. They're both a little older. They're both coming off an injury. Broad strokes, Trey Hendrickson and Maxx Crosby aren't that different. Maybe Maxx Crosby's got a little bit better vibes, but yeah, and they kept their first round pick. It makes so much sense now that this is a done deal, why the Ravens did it, and why the Raiders are rightly pissed. Defense is looking great for the Raiders. That's a good point, though. That's a good point. You get Maxx Crosby and Kwity Paye on that defensive line. It just kind of leaves a couple question marks on the offensive line perspective and the wide receiver perspective. They'll probably have to address those positions later in the draft, and John Spytek will have to do something he's never done before and hit on a draft pick. So if that can happen, the Raiders will be fine, and this will all just be like a blip in what otherwise is like been a pretty crazy offseason, to be honest with you. A lot of movement. I still can't believe Jalen Phillips' contract, and I'm still mad about Alec Pierce. But you know what? Hey, one of the main reasons I'm mad about Alec Pierce is because this is such a great wide receiver class, and we will be talking about that at some point in today's show. I watched a bunch of wide receivers yesterday, despite all the crazy news. Between hate scrolling on Twitter about Bam Adebayo and checking out the deals of this whole Maxx Crosby Ravens thing, I was watching a lot of wide receivers. So we got a lot to unpack today. So welcome to Ham, number 13, 14, one of those. Someone giving excuses for the Ravens. He's failed the physical. He just had surgery in January. They knew this. So what do they do? Sign another injured edge rusher who's older for less. Yeah, that's a pretty succinct way to put it. Yeah, that's exactly what happened, actually. And the Ravens, kept their first round picks, which is what they wanted to do. I'm pissed about Kenneth Walker. You expect him to be a Raider? Or just, I liked the sign in Kansas, and I get why Raiders fans aren't happy with Kenneth Walker. It is so funny to me. Like, I'm so used to just a bunch of Giants fans get swarming in here. That's the team. A bunch of Giants fans swarming in here. But the last few days, the black hole is represented. I've probably had like 7 or 8 Raider fans join here. And it's a lot of fun. This has been the offseason for the Raiders. And I said a few days ago, I said, if this is the best time to be a Raiders fan, there's so much hope, the bunch of change, a bunch of new stuff. You got a hot coordinator as new head coach. You got, a new quarterback coming in, a bunch of free agency signings. There's never been a better time to be a Raiders fan. And while that is still kind of true, I want to walk it back a step, just a step. If we're not trading Max for at least one first, we're keeping him. Yeah, no, for easily. Yeah, could you imagine MAXX CROSBY going for like a 2nd round pick at this point? No way. No way. Shit, if he's going for a 2nd, call up my New York Giants and let's make it happen. Let's do it. Burrow was the doctor that did the medical. I think the Giants for the first pick. Yeah, it's a good day in New York when we're trying to tank for a draft pick. It almost never works. And then some Giants fans are like, serves the Raiders right for not playing ethical football. So yeah, this is happening now. The Ravens pulled a fast one on the Raiders and the entire league. It's so annoying. Ravens and Raiders sound so damn similar. So, that's it. I just keep slipping, but you guys know what I mean. I'm curious if there's any more information on this specifically. It gets up to 120 million, with certain incentives. You can almost, it's bigger news. Geno Smith is a Jet. Yes, Geno Smith is a Jet. That is also breaking. Trey Hendrickson with incentives can get up to Jalen Phillips money, so that's not terrible. And I'm curious, what's the actual story here? This getting cut off? It is. Damn it. Let's see, huh? Oh boy, I don't like this. All right. Yeah, so I don't really need to hear Dominique Foxworthy's take on it or Orlovsky's. Okay. They agreed to $112 million worth up to $120 with incentives. Deal includes $60 million fully guaranteed and $20 million signing bonus. By the way, I do want to say this. We talked a lot about how, what was I going to say? We talked a lot about how Trey Hendrickson was just getting such the short end of the stick in this free agency period, about how teams weren't paying him enough, and about how his APY was fair and teams were being so crazy about it and not giving him a fair deal because he's old and lame or whatever. And the Bengals completely took his knees out from under him. I am glad Trey Hendrickson was able to come out of this situation not only unscathed, but in a position where he can actively terrorize the Cincinnati Bengals. Probably a perfect situation for Trey Hendrickson specifically. He goes to a winning culture with a good coach, with a team that's obviously willing to pay him and that has draft capital now. And, he has to play the Bengals, and maybe he'll be the one that takes out Joe Burrow this year. Titans fan here with no skin in the game. Just don't let him go to Jacksonville, please. I wouldn't sweat it, Fatal Gaming. I wouldn't sweat it. I really do think he's gonna stay with the Raiders now. Which things could be worse. At the end of the day, it's like, oh no, being a Raiders fan is so tough. We have to stick with our Pro Bowl All-Pro pass rusher. Damn. My Browns showed me the Ravens and Texas had to rebuild an offensive line. Browns are doing it. Browns have built an offensive line up front to where now all they got to grab is a left tackle, and they're set. They're set, man. For the record, by the way, I do think as the smoke's clearing a little bit, I'm starting to think Giants go tackle in the draft. I'm really starting to think that, especially if Francis is there. Monroe Freeling will be crazy. Here we go, Steelers. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Good morning for the Steelers fans, I guess. They're kind of watching all this unfold. But I do think the Giants are going to go offensive line at this point. But what is up, guys? We got a lot of new people in here. Welcome to Hunnaball AM, the sports show where we talk about sports, but in the morning. Let's see. The deal keeps Hendrickson, a 4-time Pro Bowler in the AFC North, after the Ravens backed out less than 24 hours ago with MAXX CROSBY. Is there anything new? Is there any new information here? Oh, he was a Saint. How did I not know that? All right, Saints mentioned. Anyway, well, no new information, I guess. I was kind of hoping to see if there would be anything else coming out. Bills restructured Josh Allen for all the Bills fans out there. There you go. But outside of that, honestly, like the NFL world has been flipped on its head. The sports world last night was a crazy night for the sports world. In case you didn't see it, Bam Adebayo scored 83 points in what I can only describe as a tragedy to the game of basketball. I guess we could see this. What's Rap Sheet got?
This is a risk, right? So I had this conversation with the general manager last night to try to understand, like,
Rams can play guard first and match them off Luminor side by tackle. No, I agree. It makes sense. It makes sense.
They would take a bet,
just not exciting.
Not a real bet. Betting is bad. But take a bet on MAXX CROSBY. You would say, we believe his knee is good, and I would bet $10. Would you bet $100? Okay, I would. What about $1,000? Sure, I would. Then it's like, what about your house?
I was going to start backing into Trey's about. Yeah, seriously, that's the bad precedent this sets.
All the money you have. That's really what it is for the Baltimore Ravens. So we can all talk about, well, they should have been comfortable. It's a projection, and theoretically, they knew that it had some ways to go, even though he's doing well. Yes, that is all true. But the Ravens needed to bet the house on MAXX CROSBY, and they just, after the medical exams, after getting in there, after doing all the work that they had preliminary work, but yesterday afternoon was the real work. They did not believe the risk was worth it, so the deal was off. They pivoted to Hendrickson without knowing whether or not they were going to get him, and this morning, as we just reported, they got him.
Yeah, all right. So, again, no new information. It is funny, though. The Ravens are saying, we didn't know. It's been clear by multiple people around the NFL that at all levels that Baltimore had the information, understood where MAXX CROSBY's knee was in terms of the recovery timeline. Many in the league believe Eric DeCosta and the Ravens ultimately got cold feet. So, yeah. Twitter replies are such a joke. But yeah, so that's the 411 from Diana Rossini. So yeah. Really quick. I know this is a football stream, and no one wants to talk about basketball. Giants fan 10 called it the best night of basketball in 10 years. I get the Giants fan 10 is not a Kobe guy, and I understand there are reasons to why people aren't Kobe guys. But here's my thing. One, nothing was proven. They settled out of court, and a lot of things have happened since then to where I'm just, if we're going to hold every single athlete accountable, then why even watch sports? All right. Welcome, Dallas Crimson Tide. Bam Adebayo scored 83, I'll say it, unethical points. This is not basketball. This is nonsense. 43 free throws is not a good game. Playing the Wizards B team is not a good game. On a random Tuesday on the FanDuel Network, scoring 83 points is absolutely ridiculous and absurd, and I am mad, and it's bullshit, and I'm sick of this, and Bam Adebayo, he didn't deserve it. And it just makes me mad. It just makes me really mad. If you watch the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. By the end of the game, the Heat were intentionally stat padding. They were the Wizards, the stupid Wizards, for some reason, instead of just playing regular defense on a center, they decide to triple team him and put all this contact on him. So then he's going to the line in the bonus for nothing. And it was just such a joke. It was such a joke. You know how these highlights start with free throws? They end with free throws too. That's all he did. Bam Adebayo from the line making Shai Gilgeous look like a goddamn regular player. Oh, makes me so mad. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. I'm the same guy that was all up in arms yesterday saying, how could someone pretend like they care about the opera? How could someone pretend like they care about the ballet? I'm sick of the fake outrage. And here I am losing sleep because Bam Adebayo is breaking records and entering NBA history with just complete nonsense. Jesus. 83 points at 43 free throws. If I got 43 free throws in an NBA game, I'd have a 30 piece. Maybe. Maybe. Me. I'm not impressed, Bam. No one else is, it doesn't feel like. And I don't want to rain on the parade. Some people are having fun with it, and that's okay. But it was unethical basketball. And I don't like where the sport is. Adam Silver. I'll say it. I'm done. This game sucks. The Wizards haven't been trying for months. They've been tanking. The fouls are crazy. I'm done. Adam Silver sucks. Season needs to be shorter, and I'm out. Adam Silver's the worst commissioner I've ever seen in my life. And I don't like saying that. I actually give Roger Goodell a lot of credit. Being a sports commissioner is very fucking hard. Nah, I'm out. I'm out. I'm mad. My GOAT Cam Thomas is better. There you go. There you go. He admired it. We got to stop. He admitted it. We got to stop defending an evil millionaire just because he could put the ball in the hoop real good. Again, what happened that night in Colorado? We'll never know. We'll never know. Giants fan 10. Jesus. Do you imagine Seattle landing Crosby? Oh my God! Don't let Mike McDonald get his hand on him. Yeah, no, that would be nuts. That would be nuts. Seattle landing MAXX Crosby would be that would be fun. And hell, I would do it if I'm the Seahawks. I'd send pick 32 into next year's first. Why not? Let's go win this thing again. Why not? They've lost a couple of free agents. Reek Woolen being one of them, going to the Eagles. Oh yeah, you just don't like fun, man. Get out of here. This was not fun. This was nonsense. This was a 2K ass performance. This was not fun. Why are we talking about Chris Move dropping 100 every season? Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a good call. Said we go back to back, no cap. That would be a hell of a team. That'd be a hell of a team. I'm done talking about Bam. I just want the record to show I was very upset last night. And all of my Twitter likes, in fact, I'm just going to go through it. All of my Twitter likes are just people ripping on Bam Adebayo. And I was so mad I couldn't help but agree. Look at this. But not this. This is funny. I'm not going to play it. This is such a funny video. It's just a mockery to the sport. What an embarrassing night for the NBA. No impact on the Giants. This is also a funny tweet. I know this can't be riveting to watch me go through my liked tweets, but I just want to prove a point here. 43 free throws. Draymond got to respond. This is lame as hell. 43 free throws. I hate the Wizards. Bam's fakest basketball in history right now. I'll never forgive the Wizards for this, etc. This is my mood, though. Release the Ravens files. Yeah, no, seriously. What happened? Trey Hendrickson is a Raven, Otis. That's what happened. And yeah, that's that. And if Bam Adebayo deserved, okay, it doesn't matter how you get the ADPs. Got it in a high scoring game. Plays against bad teams. See, the Wizards aren't just a bad team; they're a team that aren't trying. And not only that, yeah, drop a like, by the way, guys. Not only are the Wizards not trying, but they're like, the Heat are intentionally fouling in the fourth quarter, up 30 to try and pad stats. Like, this is unheard of. This is unheard of. Yeah, oh yeah, Otis heard. Oh hell yeah. So this is the news. Raiders fans got screwed. Raiders fans represented this morning in the chat. We're going to talk about receivers later. But yeah, what a weird day for football. I'll say that. War Room Wednesday has never been more combative, I'll say. Man, the Ravens have to forfeit a draft pick. This is shady business. Shady business, as they're calling it. I'm not arguing with Ravens fans about this. They went back on their word because Hendrickson showed interest and then flagged Crosby's medicals retroactively. You can't convince me that this deal falls through if Hendrickson goes elsewhere. That's shady. Also, Giants are out on drafting, picking up a guard, which blows. Does it matter? He still dropped 30 before Luka in SGA? What do you mean? Like, still dropped 80 before Luka in SGA? Nah, doesn't matter to me. It's a fake record in my book. Of course, indicating Hendrickson chose Baltimore because he felt it was best culture fit on the team that also backs out of deals they agreed to. Here's another thing that I think is interesting. Yeah, the Ravens haven't said a word about this whole thing. Here's another thing I think is interesting. A lot of tweets last night were basically saying, and by some reporters, mind you, were saying, what player is ever going to want to do business with the Ravens if they're going to be doing stuff like this? If they're going to back out, if they're going to renege on deals. And apparently Trey Hendrickson, bar's pretty low. I feel bad for Trey Hendrickson, man. Trey Hendrickson would play anywhere. He'd play, like, at this rate, Trey Hendrickson just wants to be loved at this point. They said that they were literally fouling with Will allegedly dropped 100. It's a whole different situation. That was in the 60s, and Wilt Chamberlain was breaking his own record. Wilt Chamberlain did that shit like every night, okay? We saw the Kobe game. It was a close game that Kobe had to, like, score a bunch in, and no one was intentionally fouling to try and pad the stats when it was Kobe. When Kobe scored 62 or 65, whatever it was, that same season, he subbed himself out. He said, I'll play the full game when we need it. Scored 60-ish points in 3 quarters. Bam Adebayo said, no, I'm going to stay in stat pad. No love for the game. No love. FBI got to investigate the whole Wizards organization. I like that. How about Adam Silver? Adam Corrupt Silver, who's let tanking happen for 2 decades, but now all of a sudden is up in arms because FanDuel's mad. Yeah, Kobe, yeah. Okay, again, not talking about Colorado anymore. Not doing it. This is just Lakers fans cope. Let's move on, man. That's bullshit. That's bullshit and you know it. That's bullshit, Giants fan 10, you know it. Brian Sutter released a video on why Maxx Crosby failed his physical. He also tweeted out that this is bad business and something else. What did he tweet out? He tweeted out that the Bam Adebayo game was nonsense. That too. Hendrickson just wanted the money he deserves, and he wasn't going to take a bullshit contract for the season, I guess. No, yeah, no, and that's fair. That's fair. I just feel for him because, God damn it. I just feel for him because, you know, he kind of got left out in the cold by the Bengals and the rest of the NFL, so he had to take a ethically questionable deal with the Baltimore Ravens. Lakers, I win, you lose. Whatever. I'll move on. There it is. There it is. Thanks, camera. Go Lakers. Sweet. Anyways, where were we? And I'm still more corrupt than an Eastern European politician. Yeah, that's true. That's true for sure. Jeez, can you imagine if the Browns brought on Maxx Crosby? That'd be nuts. But then they'd have to send what? They could do it. They could send their second first-round pick and then a first next year. God, I bet the Browns' first round next year is a crazy. What am I waking up to? Maxx Crosby's a Raven. Maxx Crosby is not a Raven. Trey Hendrickson is a Raven. Maxx Crosby is a Raider again. See, I was just having popcorn watching the movie play out. Yeah, yeah. Then Cincy, you know, you'd like to think Cincy's just watching the movie play out, but they're, you know, now they have to deal with Trey Hendrickson in their division. So that's not as fun. But yeah, not a single NFL person has been able to explain Baltimore's point of view yet. There are a lot of angry people. Yeah, no doubt. A lot of angry people. I get it. People are pissed. That's what's going on March 11th, 2026. People are pissed. I'm mad about Bam Adebayo. Others are mad about the Trey Hendrickson, Maxx Crosby fiasco of 26. Whatever you want. It's not bullshit. Kobe was primary taking jumpers for that 81. Bam's a center. What do you want him to do exactly? Not shoot from the rim and get fouled because the Wizards can't guard him. Dude shot like 15 threes and made 6 of them. Like, Kobe was shooting jumpers. He's a guard. That's how the game is meant to be played. He had less than half the free throws. Yeah. That's what I'd say. Those fans watching a horror movie. Who's going to get Max now? He's probably going to stay with the Raiders. He's probably going to stay with the Raiders if we're being honest. We're going to discredit Bam Adebayo's 83 points. That means we get to discredit James Harden because 60 points he was at the free throw line. Did he shoot 43 free throws? Against a team that wasn't trying? Did his team intentionally foul to get the ball back? No. Was his team up 30 for the entire second half and they kept him in because they wanted to chase a record? No. So there you go. There you go. Thought the Hendrickson learned and thought, wow, the Ravens are lame fucking ducks. I get it, but that feels so icky. Sets a lame precedent. Exactly. I do like this ping pong game of talking about the Trey Hendrickson, Maxx Crosby thing, and then the Bam Adebayo thing. Trade on the WNBA deal now. How am I supposed to bet on the ladies? How am I supposed to bet basketball? It's not happening. Can't bet on the real NBA. The clearly rigged, terrible real NBA. I'll say that. Can't bet on that. Makes it look like they just intentionally rescinded the trade to get Trey. Just seems a little suspect, though. That maybe he did fail the physical. No, it looks suspect. It looks very suspect. Definitely looks very suspect. I think we're all on the same page here. I don't think anybody has come in here and said, well, hold on now. He very, like, you know what I mean? Like, we knew he had a torn meniscus. Everybody knew that. Jeremy Lin's better than Kobe. I'm not going to get rage baited this morning. We're going to talk about receivers eventually. But, yeah. So, Trey Hendrickson, Maxx Crosby. Is anything Trey's team, Maxx Crosby? Wow. It's brutal. It's brutal. That's a little harsh. But either way, Ravens lost a bunch. As I was saying earlier, Ravens lost a bunch of free agents, and they were mad, specifically at the Raiders, for stealing Tyler Linderbaum from them. So they got revenge by pulling back a trade. It was funny. Mike Florio was like cracking up, basically making fun of the Raiders, saying, oh, well, you know, teams have the right to do this. You got to put both keys in order for it to work. It's like, all right, dude. All right, pal. You know, just get 43 attempts at the line by just existing. That's exactly what happened last night. It's exactly what happened last night. Every time he passed the ball, the commentator's like, wow, look at Bam. So unselfish, so impressive. Moving on, what do you think the moves my Browns have made so far? Built that offensive line. Built that offensive line. Let's protect Shador. So these are all the people the Ravens have lost. These are all the people the Ravens have signed out of the top 150. John Simpson and Trey Hendrickson. Cool. And since Jeff asked, Zion Johnson. Welcome to Cleveland. Who's the Steelers QB? I'm going to guess Kyler. I'm going to guess Kyler if he doesn't go to the Vikings, which, you know, I think it should happen. I'd rather have Kyler Murray than Aaron Rodgers, and I'd rather have JJ McCarthy than Kyler Murray. Plain and simple. That's literally not what happened, Lamar. What do you mean? What do you mean? They're hacking him. They're triple team hacking him. It was like a 5-hour game of basketball. I'm trying hard to win King of the Court bet. People split $2 million if they choose him. Something's up here. Something's up, dude. Someone had money on this. Something's up. I don't trust it. Justin Fields could also happen. Cardinals really guns. Cardinals really guns. Drag out the cutting of Kyler Murray just to make a show. Oh, they're gonna drag out the cutting of Kyler Murray just to make a show. That's the Cardinals. Look at us. We're the Cardinals. Anyway, back to football. David Bailey is a bust waiting to happen. Back to football. It's War Room Wednesday. The Ravens got Trey Hendrickson. People are pissed. Yeah, that's that. Anyways, so we'll probably go back and forth with the whole Ravens and Raiders thing, but let's get to the wide receivers. We're gonna be talking about all of these guys. Most of these guys, I should say. Pretty much all of these guys. Holy shit! Wow, the Athletic actually kind of agrees with me on a lot of these rankings. I don't have much of a take on Ted Hurst, so if someone wants to fill me in there. But outside of that, and Reggie Virgil. But other than that, I got an opinion on all these fellas, so we're gonna talk about them right now. Is Daniel Goat Jones resigning with the Colts? That's another thing. We are waiting, foaming at the mouth. I was told that Daniel Jones is going to go for $50 million a year, and the Colts are like knocking on the door. Like the deal. Some people said the deal is agreed upon already. Others said they're still ironing out some kinks. But either way, it looks like within the next day or two, we're going to be reading about Dan Jones being one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL APY, which is like, go Colts, I guess. Lamar restructure official. Well, it's about damn time. Jeez, Ravens. It's about damn time. Gosh. Let's make sure. If Trey got paid elsewhere on day one, MAXX. Yeah, so this is what people are saying. If Trey went elsewhere, then MAXX Crosby would still be a Raven. That's crazy. That's crazy. This is so funny. If someone did what the Ravens just did, they'd be kicked out of your fantasy league. Yeah, canceling a trade because someone was available on waivers. Yeah, that's true. Let's see this Lamar restructure. There it is. You're right. There it is. Jack Kilroy with the update. Creates about $40 million in salary cap space, similar to what Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen have done this offseason. Little late, but yeah. So they can do this. They could probably still bring on another player in free agency. Who's even left? Is there anyone that the Ravens will particularly go after? Maybe a tight end? Maybe? Who even knows? Dan Jones. Yeah, not a lot of guys left on the table. I mean, Rasheed Walker, I guess. Jawan Jennings, if you want. Dallas Goedert, if you're trying to fill that tight end spot, which would be a weird move. Soon, Ravens insiders starting in the news. No one, lol. Is that it? I mean, Jack Kilroy, are you the Ravens fan? The Ravens fan, you're the enemy of the football world right now. Everyone's mad at the Ravens. Besides me, I'm mad at the Heat and the Wizards. Bailey's realistically a second round pick in a class like 2023. I don't think he's worth the top 10 value. Wow, really? Oh shit, really? Chubbs. Bradley Chubb? Maybe. That'd be cool. Talent-wise, disagree with Bailey being a second rounder in a different class, but off the field, because of off the field, I wouldn't touch him until late round one at the earliest. Indeed. There it is. We got some Raiders fans in here. We got a Ravens fan in here. This is fun. It's Spirit of Baltimore still living in the Colts as they as they back out from signing Jones. That's what they should do. That's what they should do. And that's the thing. This is the Ravens. This was the right move. It's just unethical. That's the thing. I'm doing this. Gonna get into it with a significant other bystander and have him miss 6 to 8 games being the chef. Dave Bailey. We just lost our linebacker, so picking him up wouldn't be bad. There you go. That would be nice. Get an edge rusher from Karen. Hell yeah. To just slap to the face of the players. Wait, what? Well, I'm a cheap person myself inherently. I would say the Ravens are $1 billion organization, so it's different. Well, with that being said, they should be shamed hard for this. So just slap in the face of the players. To the players and to the other GMs in the league. Actually, I don't want to do it. I don't want to forget it. I don't want to do the trade. It's done. I feel like who among us has not had a similar situation playing fantasy football, right? Where you make a trade with someone, you agree on it, and then they sit with it for a second. Maybe they text their friend. They're like, actually, like you agree with it on paper, but you don't actually submit to the league office yet. And then it's like, actually, I'm good. Let's not do it. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm out. I'm done. I don't want to do it. It's happened to me many times, and I'm sure it's happened to you. It's a frustrating thing. You'd think that professionals who do this for their career wouldn't do such a thing, but I guess the Ravens are different. Ravens are dirty, seriously. I agree with the article of receivers in this draft. Mekhi Lemon's the best receiver in this draft. There's Blake. If you're just popping by, drop a like while you're here. We're having fun. We're talking free agency, the Ravens, MAXX, CROSBY, Trey Hendrickson, but also the draft. Today's wide receiver war room Wednesday, and I got some things to say. Bryce Lance mention. The Ravens-Raiders rivalry starts to begin. I'm here to see it. Yeah, I'm here to see it. Raiders did it themselves. I heard they saw arthritis in his knee, didn't want to waste all that capital on another injury guy. Eric DeCosta knew what he was doing. Also, Cowboys doctor was present for the physical. Hey, I'm not saying the Ravens didn't know what they were doing. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying what they did was just a little questionable from a football ethics perspective. But I'm going in circles here. Raiders is something most teams would have done. He didn't pass his physical. The Raiders lied about how bad his knee was. Anyone's going to go and get Trey and keep their 2 picks. Hey, man, the Ravens did something most teams would have done is just... That's not a true statement. That's the thing. The only teams that really utilize this whole calling trades off thing are the Ravens. They're the only team. Who's my number 1 receiver in the draft? I will reveal that at the end. But what I will say is I'm not sitting here. I'm not mad at the Ravens. I'm just kind of waiting to see other people's opinions. I certainly don't think it's super cool what they did, but clearly it makes their team better. And as a GM, you gotta want to make your team better. That is fair. So, it's a loaded case for sure. The Raiders aren't even good enough to be rivals. They got to win more than 4 games. Brutal. Raiders made the trade knowledge knowing was going to pass physical. We got to stop white knighting for billion-dollar organizations. I mean, it would make sense that Ravens fans are white knighting for their team. I don't think it's like an organization, like a billion, like it's a money thing. But I do agree. This is definitely a shady look from Ravens Nation. I'll say that. I think it was a good move for the Ravens and also acknowledging it's very scummy. That's where I'm at. It's a good move. Hey, they did it. Ravens flock on top. Oh, I love that Ravens fans and Raiders fans showing out. 49ers do need a pass rusher. MAXX CROSBY. Help out MAXX CROSBY, please. I feel bad for the guy. The good news for MAXX CROSBY is the Raiders should be good. And he said he wants to retire a Raider. Raiders should be good. So that's nice, at least. Anyways, we'll keep talking about MAXX CROSBY and the Ravens, but I want to interlace it with some wide receiver takes. So first of all, oh God. Okay, great. Apparently I played the wrong song in my stream yesterday. That's awesome. Anyways, okay, so this is not quite how I'd rank guys, how they're doing this. Rules are rules, ignorance is bliss. Reporting them having hope. You'd pass physical is enough said for me. I think they were scummy backstabbing. There were scummy backstabbing on both sides. Who won the trade now? Well, the team that was able to pivot and hold on to the trade as if it was optional won the trade. That's for sure. MAXX CROSBY will be having an 18-plus year sack this season because I know he was pissed. Oh, he is pissed. Wherever he goes, he's pissed. His knee's glass. Bryce Lance is interesting. Bryce Lance is an interesting prospect. In soccer, when someone fails a medical, he gets sold in the middle of nowhere, so Crosby's lucky he's not getting involved in the traded football league in Bolivia. I guess you could say that. And what I said to Donnie before everyone else joined was, could you imagine if the Cowboys traded Micah Parsons and then everyone came out and flamed him, said it was a bad trade. Everyone's like, oh, how could you? You know, and then the Cowboys called it off. Of course, the Cowboys were the ones trading the player, but they could have said, oh, Kenny Clark didn't pass our physical. Oh, well. And then gotten Micah Parsons back. Just saying. That would have been wild, right? This is not that far from that exact situation. Just saying. Why is Bryce Lance even mentioned? Because Bryce Lance is awesome, okay? Bryce Lance he's a lot of comps to Andre Yosivas, who is sick. Speed demon. Dude ran a 4.3 at the combine, 4.34 to be exact, at 6'3". Look, I like Bryce Lance as a late round swing. Some of the best athletic scores we've ever seen from a receiver, period. Really great in deep ball situations, really good ball control, reliable hands, solid route running when you consider he went to North Dakota State, not a super refined offense. But everything I just said kind of has an asterisk because, again, he played at North Dakota State. So while Bryce Lance has a high ceiling and is a fun prospect to scout, and I do think a team in the 4th round should take a big swing on him, because why the hell not? I don't know if he's going to be a all-pro, but he's definitely a fun prospect. And if you're a team that, you know, has receiver figured out and you just want to take a big swing, maybe the Rams, maybe the Seahawks, I like the fit a lot. There you go. This live stream is sponsored by Bryce Lance. I like Bryce Lance. When he ran a 4.34, I got excited. Mike's situation's different, though. I'm just saying, like, going back on a trade sets a bad precedent. That I'll stick with. Bryce Lance, I think, mid as fuck, could be a top 15 wide receiver in the NFL. I don't think he'll be outright bad, though. Amen to that. Put him in the right system, and they're in good shape. The team's in good shape. North Dakota State isn't just a cupcake team. I trust non-quarterbacks coming out from there. Yeah, you leave Trey Lance out. And Carson Wentz. Both top 3 picks at North Dakota State. So, you know, you can pull the competition card when it's Carson Wentz and Trey Lance, but when it's Bryce, people get angry. I just hate the precedent says I'm not going to pity $1 billion organization, even if it's my team. I'd shame him. It's pathetic, IMO. There you go. It's pathetic. Stoner Cat's calling it. All right. So, yeah, Bryce Lance. Those are my notes. Reggie Virgil. I don't have much on him. So if anyone has like a Reggie Virgil take, silky smooth athlete with a long striding speed and adequate ball skills, versatility on special teams coverage will increase his value. Don't know much about Reggie, but hey, the Athletic does. They're fans. Bryce Lance turns to Chargers, and we can have both Lances together. A dynamic duo for preseasons everywhere. Okay. I cannot believe how high Brennan Thompson is in this ranking. I 74 above Zachariah Branch. That's brutal in my book. That's brutal in my book. My prospect who will have the fastest 40-yard dash of this year's combine. He called it. Thompson is no sleeper. He led the SEC in receiving yards in 25, would likely have led FBS 2 had he been blessed with better quarterback play. He's a smaller target, but creates big plays at every level of the field. Smaller target is a bit of an understatement. At 5'9", 170, he is tiny. Like, small, man. Now, he's very fast. He ran, I think, a 4.26, something like that, at the combine. And he had really good college production. He's good at shedding press. It must be really great watching me look at notes. But again, I don't have this memorized. Pretty good deep route tree, but he's small, not as agile as you would hope, and not super trustworthy hands. Fun career to follow as a potential, like, you know, gadget guy, but tough to overlook the red flags here. I don't think the ceiling's very high for a 5'9", 170-pound senior who's fast, and that's it. Where's my boy Skyler Bell? Is Skyler Bell not on here? Because we will be talking about Skyler Bell. Okay, Skyler Bell's not on here. We'll get Skyler Bell. We will pull Skyler Bell. I'm taking Skyler Bell over a lot of these guys. What the hell? But okay. Yeah, so Brennan Thompson, not super inspired by his game. We'll see, though. We'll see. All right. Zach Branch. Talked about him last week, so I'll be brief here. Zach Branch, he feels like Kadarius Toney. 5'10", 180. Very shifty. Really good Z. Slot wide receiver. Size is a question mark, but he does have a pretty dense frame. Was a good recruit out of high school. Was supposed to be a lot better than this, but he didn't really pan out in college. Hard to expect him to pan out in the pros. However, 4.35 at the combine, pretty good speed. Catches with his body a ton, but you know, maybe he can get out coached for that. I like the upside here, but I do think there are better slot options than Zachariah Branch. There's a world where he works out. There's a world where he doesn't, and that's all I could say. I don't think he's a very high floor guy. You know what I mean? He's either going to be good or bad. I don't know. So yeah, that's Zach Branch. Where else? Now I got to go back in my notes here. Who else do we want to talk about here? Got Brennan Thompson, Elijah Surratt. I'm not a big Elijah Surratt fan. And you know what? I realized in looking at these wide receivers, I don't do smaller than Kyler and DG. Yeah, it's pretty tiny. No, I'm excited to talk about Skyler Bell for sure. I could see Branch's day 3 or free agent. Okay, Branch is going to get drafted. Branch is going to get drafted. Deshaun Jackson upside with Branch, but I don't know, he could just be like Ted Ginn. Yeah, exactly. There's upside there, but you really got to develop him right and hope he figures it out. But he has the tools. Again, Kadarius Toney. And that's you know, for better or for worse. Elijah Surratt. Now, what I was saying was, I realized in this kind of scout, so to speak, I'm not big on the tall wide receivers, the X's, for the most part. There are a couple that I was fans of their game. Elijah Surratt's not one of them. Now, he plays big. He is great at contested catches. He's a vertical threat. Former Hooper. Makes sense. Dude's awesome on the boards. No one would describe his speed as electric, but he can find another gear when needed. I don't know about that. Physical in all sorts of situations. But yeah, after the catch, kind of useless. Look, if you want a high floor X, sure, but I'm not super thrilled with what I saw. I'm definitely not using a second round pick on a guy like Surratt. Maybe in the 3rd, but I wouldn't be super eager about it. He does kind of feel like he'll flame out in the league. I don't want to hate on these guys, but Elijah Surratt might be my, what was it? It's not Devin Singletary. Nick Singleton of the wide receivers, where I'm just not a fan of his game, honestly. Can't wait till the New York Giants get receiver Cardell Tate. We'll see. It's starting to feel like Giants are going O-line, but time will tell. We're jamming through these, though. Ted Hurst. Didn't have an opinion on Ted Hurst. So now, okay, now I want to get a Skyler Bell here because he's sick. So I'm just going to pull up a profile for Skyler Bell really quick because I want to talk about him. Skyler Bell this guy's a pro. Skyler Bell's a pro. I like his game. Skyler Bell. Here were my notes on Skyler Bell. First of all, him not being in the top 10 to 12 of the Athletics list just shows how crazy and varied this class is. I like Skyler Bell, man. He's a quarterback's best friend. Shout out UConn. That's where my CFB player played. UConn Huskies. Broke all kinds of records and still couldn't even get a damn look from an SEC school. Whatever. Great stats. But again, at UConn, sick athlete, really good with the ball in his hands, can play any position on the field. A little bit of a drop history, but he's got big hands, so who cares? 10-inch hands. I like it. He got a 6.31 prospect grade, will eventually be a plus starter. That's a pretty glowing recommendation from a guy who didn't even make the Athletics top 100. 4.4 40-yard dash, 1.53 split, 41-inch vertical jump, 11.1 broad jump. Pretty good. Big brain play. Yeah, hell yeah. Drafting Skyler Bell would be a big brain play, or if we're talking about the Trey Hendrickson thing again, then yeah, that too. Colonel Tate screams Giants to me right now. I don't think so. I really like Surratt. Great hands, trust for the target. Not going to break any games, but he's going to keep you in a lot of games making tough plays. You can definitely have that perspective. I just don't like his ceiling for what he is. I think there are guys in this draft that are tall and fast, and Elijah Surratt is not that guy. But I'm a fan of Skyler Bell. I really am. I like his game. And spoiler, I think he's gonna make my top 10. Which, you know, hell yeah. Moving on. I don't have a Ted Hurst opinion, so if anyone is familiar with Ted Hurst's game, I'd be happy to hear it. But Antonio Williams, the redshirt junior. Antonio Williams is another guy that I wasn't super thrilled on. Where are my Antonio Williams notes? Here it is. First and foremost, Clemson sucks. Clemson sucks. We know this. I'd absolutely cry tears of joy for draft Bell. He's a perfect complement to neighbors. I agree. And what I like about Bell, just not to hopscotch too much, but what I like about Bell is he is one of a couple wide receivers in this class that perfect for a young quarterback. A QB's best friend, like I said. Perfect. Good in the intermediate, trustworthy, and that's what you want. So I'd be really happy if the Giants got Bell in, round 4. Maybe trade up from round 3. Oh, I'd be happy. But yeah, so Antonio Williams. Clemson sucks. He was a much more highly touted prospect following last season. Of course, he didn't have a great year this year, and no one was really that excited about him. He is pretty damn quick. Ran a 4.41. But because of that speed, not because of that speed, but related to that speed, he's pretty damn. He struggles through contact. He, more of a deep threat than anything. Really up and down production. Short arms. Doesn't have that second gear to get out of coverage. I don't love the swing here. A slot wide receiver with a low ceiling out the gate. Meh. Antonio Williams. I don't think he's gonna be a number 1. He could be a number 2. I do like. Oh no shit. So Jeffrey's an Antonio Williams guy. I am not. But again, I mean, of all these wide receivers, I very well could be wrong. I don't know. A Clemson wide receiver. Tough to trust. Speed's kind of a question mark as well. Well, not even. Speed's not a question mark. Everything else is a question mark. You both go late round 2, early round 3, but we could trade down round 2 if we can't get. If we can't trade down round 1, maybe grab two twos. That would be nice. I don't like Williams TBH. Yep, there it is. GF10 and I on the same page. Hell yeah. And in case you're just popping in, Trey Hendrickson is a Raven. I got to keep this tab open. Trey Hendrickson is a Raven. Just felt like I wanted to shout that out. I still think it's so crazy. All right, moving on. Chris Bell. Okay. The other Bell. Very confusing that there are 2 Bells in this wide receiver draft class, but that's where we're at. Chris Bell tore his ACL, which isn't helping his draft stock. Had he not done that, he'd probably be a first-round pick. I like Chris Bell's profile a lot. Didn't watch a lot of film on him because I don't like watching 2024 football. It's like, what's even the point? But he's pretty damn big. At 6'2", 227, this guy's filled out, man. He passed the eye test, size, and acceleration, like this is saying. Had about 20 spots higher before suffering a torn ACL in December. Could potentially sideline him for the start of 2026 season. But hey, a lot of times, if you trust your player to rehab correctly, you could have a Jameson Williams situation where I think that worked out. Like, he should have been a Cowboy. Trey Hendrickson? Yeah, maybe. Devastating. But really explosive, fantastic in open field, just fun to watch. Can go up and grab a catch, great body control, 4.4 speed expected if he had a full ACL. Kind of raw, definitely needs the right development. And honestly, I think that's just consistent with all of my notes here. He could probably use a little more polish as a route runner, and not super consistent with ball security and contested grabs and like hand placement and all that. But he's a high upside play. And I think if you leave with Chris Bell in the draft, you probably won't see much year 1 production. But long term, I think he's a good player. I like him a lot. I'm a Chris Bell fan. Chris Bell seems Steelers. I can see them taking the risk in round 1. Woof, that would be nuts. That would be nuts if the Steelers went Chris Bell in round 1. I'd like it, but it would be bold. I'll say that. It would be bold. You know what else is bold? Putting Malachi Fields this high. I like Malachi Fields, and I can see how someone else can. But I also don't think he's here, right? I don't think he's the 49th best wide receiver prospect. He had a great Senior Bowl, which is boosting his stock a little bit. He's not an insane athlete, but he is 6'4", 222, so you wouldn't expect him to run a 4.2. He ran a 4.61 for the record. Just big as hell, tall with long arms, really good at the catch point, just kind of slow. And he's not really going to get much separation, so you got to get him to win 50-50 balls. And I just don't trust that with a rookie wide receiver. Like, again, it's just, I'm not big on the tall wide receivers in this class, at least not Malachi Fields and not Antonio Williams. Who was the other guy? Damn it. Where'd he go? Malachi Fields and Surratt. That's right. He was right there. Yeah. We had to collectively ban the Ravens. People are pissed. Rain is pissed. This is not football. Just like Bam Adebayo scoring 83 points is not basketball. Yes. If you want to hear our Trey Hendrickson opinions, we covered that for the first, 20, 30 minutes of this stream. And we talked about it last night. So things are happening. But on to the draft. I think there are a couple other guys here that I wanted to talk about that aren't quite there. Tall wide receivers that I do like. We're looking at one of them. I like Chris Brazzell a lot. And I think you guys have told me about him before. I like him a lot, man. I could see Malachi Fields moving to tight end. That would make sense. That would probably work out better, honestly. He'd be pretty damn good in that situation, I think. Bell with some refinement could be like a Des Bryant-like player to me. Oh, yeah. I think so. Chris Bell is good. The other Chris that I like a lot is Chris Brazzell. Chris Brazel's fun, man. I see him comped a lot to Brian Thomas. You guys know Brian Thomas. I love Brian Thomas, even though he completely burnt me in fantasy this year. I love Brian Thomas, man. Chris Brazel, man, 6'4", 198, so he's a little slimmer. He runs a 4.37. Now, what I will say off rip, I need to say this off rip. I will also close with this. Tennessee wide receivers, major red flag. Thank you so much, Jalen Hyatt. It is so hard to trust a Tennessee wide receiver. However, I'm ready to get hurt again. Plain and simple. Really good ball tracking, top tier body control, good field awareness. Not too great off the block, but you can say that about a lot of these guys. That's kind of a stupid complaint. Not amazing off the rack. Sometimes drops the easy ones, but has the upside for a team to really buy in because he's a true X. A true X deep threat with actual speed. I think Chris Brazel is one of the few tall wide receivers in this draft class that I'm buying into. He has the athletic profile and the ceiling to make him worth the swing. Such a boom bust, man. How can you not fall in love with his upside? Exactly. Tennessee wide receivers are crazy, but I like it. Plus, we're acting like he wasn't all that dominant for the first 70 points. Like the last 13 were a little fixed. So what's Kobe's 81 isn't completely ethical either. It's Gabe's situation. Oh, I don't know why. The chat just showed up again. We're not even talking about this anymore. Good. Chris Brazel's who I want my Browns to take with the second first-round pick. I hope he's still there. Where would that pick be? I don't... the Browns have 2 first-round picks? Oh, my bad. Yes, the Browns have 2 first-round picks. I'm stupid. I thought the Browns had 2 second-round picks for some reason. But yes, that would be sick. That would be a swing. I wonder how many of these guys will go in round 1. We'll see. We will see. But... A lot at play. Why did it come this late? Yeah, I was like, what? I'm like, are we doing this again? But yeah, Chris Brazel. I like him a lot, honestly. All right, moving on. Jeremy Bernard. I like Jeremy Bernard a lot as well. He's another one of these guys that I would love to pair with a young quarterback. He's physical. He does the dirty work. He just plays smart. He plays smart. He's got his route developed. He just feels like a very developed prospect. I think a lot of this has been me saying like, oh, well, why even draft the guy if he doesn't have a high ceiling? There are some floor plays that I like. Jeremy Bernard is one of them, where I don't think Jeremy Bernard is going to be the greatest wide receiver ever, but I do think he has a high enough floor and enough value to bring to the table to where if you want a receiver day one starter, this is a great player to have. I like his profile a lot, man. He's not a speed demon, but he catches everything. He can work on the outside, but we'll probably lean towards the slot. And not great in contested catch situations, but he's a 6'1" slot receiver. He's physical when it matters, right? And again, I'd like to see him paired with a young quarterback. Low ceiling, high floor, seems to be a good pro. That's where I'm at with Jeremy Bernard. Seems to be a good pro. What do you guys think of Jeremy Bernard out of Alabama? It's funny because this is Ty Simpson's guy, and they both work together great. So if you're the Jets, and you land Ty Simpson with that second pick, I don't hate Jeremy Bernard. And that goes for any team that drafts Ty Simpson. I think taking Jeremy Bernard, that's a good swing. Hell, maybe the Raiders should trade down and then just do it. Jeremy Bernard, I can see him being a Romeo Dobbs. Well, then you're seeing him go for 4 years, $70 million then. But yeah, no, I like Jeremy Bernard's game. I do a lot. And for the rest of this, I'm not going to be hating on any of these guys, to be honest with you. Well, there's one, actually. There's one more guy that I'm not very fond of. But outside of that, I think the rest of these guys are going to be pretty solid pros. Let me see if there's anyone else that I talked about that is not on the list. Malachi Fields, we talked about him. Talked about Brendan Thompson. Talked about Bryce Lance. Oh, God, there's one more. Okay. I'm going to do a quick intermission here. There's one guy that's not going to be on this list that I want to talk about really quick. And his name is... Because I saw some people put this guy in the top 5. I don't know how you guys feel about him. I'm not his biggest fan, but I also don't think he's bad. One more guy that's worth talking about. Is there even an NFL profile for him? Oh, what the hell? There's not even an NFL profile for... Are you kidding me? Well, that's not good. Hold on. Wow. Okay, I guess. Well, then I guess we're going to have to do the Bleacher Report one. Okay. Well, I don't like how this looks, but whatever. Cyrus Allen. There it is. Think the Ravens are going to be suitor investigated? Maybe. I mean, what's there to investigate? They acted within their rights. Act within their right. What's up, Jessica? Welcome back. And Jay Eagle, Tampa letting all the good free agents slip through the cracks. I thought Tampa's having a good offseason. They brought back Cade Otton. That's a good free agent that they brought back. I thought Tampa's having a pretty good offseason. But losing Mike Evans is hurtful. It's hurtful for sure, Jay Eagle. Either way. Fan wide receivers scare being inherently because they're awesome or a dumbass. Well, I think, well, clearly our guy here, so many names I keep forgetting. Clearly our guy, Jeremy Bernard, he's one of the smarter ones, so I like it. We're talking about the fact that they immediately went and got Trey. Definitely there's some shady business going on here. For sure it's shady, and it's not a good look for the league. But like, what's the NFL gonna do? Pull a first round draft pick because the Ravens made a smart move? They acted completely within the rules. That's the annoying part. Cyrus, I'm not the hugest fan of this game. I don't even know why people have him in the top 5. Well, he's not in the top 5 on The Athletic. He's not even in the top 15. I've seen some people put him in the top 10. So let's talk about Cyrus Allen really quick. And again, I'm always happy to engage in the Trey Hendrickson, MAXX CROSBY Ravens saga. I think it's such a cool conversation. Cyrus Allen is tiny. He's all over consensus boards. Tight route runner with a deep bag, cannot get off contact for anything. Overall weak when it comes to contested catches and blocking, shies away from contact. A lot of touchdowns last year, but also really weird production the year before at Texas A&M. Knows how to get open, but you know, that's about it. He's fast, runs good routes with kind of reliable hands. Maybe a little underrated, maybe not great. Cyrus Allen. He could be okay. There you go. Moving on. All right. So now we're getting into the real nitty gritty. Here are the consensus top 6-ish guys. This is not my top 6, but here are the consensus top 6 guys. The guy I want to talk about first is the guy that I think the lowest of among all these fellas. Going back to what we said yesterday, a lot of big contracts got restructured. Yes, Lamar Jackson included. A lot of big contracts did get restructured. So now the Ravens have money on day 3 of free agency. Stupid, whatever. I do not like Denzel Boston. I don't like hating on players, but I do not like Denzel Boston. Now, relative to some of the other guys we've talked about, he is better. He's good, but he runs very stiff. He's physical, a good 50-50 ball, X threat. But again, I'm taking Chris Brazzell. I prefer, man. Very mixed reviews. I think Denzel Boston's kind of a personal preference. He screams major upside to me. See, I completely disagree on that, Jeffrey. And like I'm saying, he's personal preference. A guy like Denzel Boston. He's kind of skinny for his height. Not a rack threat. Not a route runner. And just not a crazy prospect. Not fast. He will not work with a bad QB. Doesn't separate. Meh. I don't care for it. I think the Raiders may be contenders this year. That's a wild thing to say. Well, yeah, it seems like they're going to hold on to MAXX CROSBY. And they very well could contend with a unit like they have. They clearly have spent... I mean, shoot, at this rate, they kind of have to win now. They have they have the same draft capital as any other team. And the same financial situation as any other team as well. So hopefully these free agency signings kind of need to work. So they might. Who knows? But I'm not a Denzel Boston guy. Basically Roma Dunze, but worse in every way. And Roma Dunze drives me crazy. Even if they're a wild card exit, that's a massive turnaround. Well, the Chiefs have kind of stood pat. Denver's going to have Bo Nix recovering off an injury. The Chargers have done nothing. So there's an argument to make that the Raiders will at least compete for the AFC West. I'm not saying win it, but compete. There you go. Actually, this is the first day of free agency. The last 2 days were legal tampering. That's right, but I mean, clearly the Ravens are the only team that got the memo. There's no one left. Omar Cooper Jr., I didn't know about his game until the combine when I was starting to catch a buzz. All right, we're gonna get to Omar Cooper. Anyone else got any backdoor Denzel Boston takes? What? International Energy Agency? What? Okay. Hashtag Max to Dallas. Bring him home. Please don't. Don't do it. Don't bring him home. I can see them being 9-8, maybe 10-7. I like it. I like the take. I'm happy with it. I can see that happening as well, which would be wild. Mendoza would have to be very good. Kubiak would have to be a day one good coach, which is possible. It's happened before. And Ashton Janty would really have to pick up the pieces. The offensive line would have to considerably improve. There's a lot of ifs, but if it happens, Raider up. Trey Hendrickson's a Braven. All right. Other wide receivers worth talking about. Omar Cooper. Omar Cooper is so awesome. Omar Cooper is so good. He's so good, man. So let me pull my Omar Cooper notes. Okay. Wait, did I say this last week? Yeah, I said this last week. I said this last week about Omar Cooper. Mr. Production in college, checks off all the boxes as an athlete, good enough athlete, a lot of versatility, tight route runner, solid hands, can make things happen after the catch. Not a game changer over the top, more of a slot focused guy, but that's fine. Has the versatility to play in different spots. Tough runner, tough catcher, good separator. I think he's pretty good in open field. I already said that. I think a team's going to fall in love with him. I would not be shocked if he was the 4th, maybe even the 3rd wide receiver off the board. I like Omar Cooper's game a lot. I'm a fan. Defense is scary on paper. Well, paper doesn't play on Sundays, but I agree. They've built a good team. The Raiders have built a good team. And the Raiders have represented these streams lately, so I would not want to say anything bad about Raider Nation. I'm a fan of Omar Cooper. We're getting through this. I think that's pretty much all the guys. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, that's pretty much all the guys that I want to talk about that I didn't talk about last week. Talked about Omar Cooper last week, yeah. So next, okay, so now for these next 3 guys, the big 3, you guys know who they are. So instead, I'm just gonna do my top 10, right? I'm gonna do my top 10. If the Jets are a good team this year as well, I will laugh. I like what the Jets have been doing. I do. I really like what the Jets have been doing, man. Or Jessica. I really like what the Jets have been doing. Okay. So we're gonna do a top 10 now. At number 10, where the hell is he? Okay. At number 10, he's not here, but it's Skyler Bell. I like Skyler Bell a lot. Misspelled his name. I think Skyler Bell's a great prospect. I'm all the way bought in. He's number 10. Excellent prospect. Excellent production. Really polished. The exact kind of player you want to pair with a young QB. Wouldn't be mad if the Giants made the call. Would be pretty happy. Number 9, they're likely drafting Ty, which is probably why they brought Geno in as a mentor spot. Drafting Ty, though. If they're second first-round pick, that would be nuts. That would be crazy. If they do draft Ty, I hope they get Jeremy Bernard as well in round 2. But who knows? Time will tell. That would be fun, though. I'd like it. Number 9, Chris Bell. Torn ACL and all. I think he's a really fun prospect. A phenomenal athlete. Huge ceiling. Injuries will set him back in the draft. But if he can recover well and get into the right system, he very well could be a top guy out of this class. Maybe one of the best, honestly. I like Chris Bell's game a lot. And there's an outside shot. He's a first-round pick. Great. I actually typed on the note. Anyway. Okay. Number 8. This is funny. Number 8. Denzel Boston. That's right. He's number 8. I think he's the 8th best wide receiver in this class. I'm not a Denzel Boston guy for the reasons I just listed. It's low. Probably too low. But nothing is wowing me here. Seems like he's average. A lot of things, but a lot of good things here. But being solid at a lot of things is not really going to move the needle in a class like this. He's a big body wideout. If you need that, take him. I wouldn't be thrilled with him in round 1, obviously. Okay, number 7. Number 7, Chris Brazzell, who I would just straight up rather have than Denzel Boston. I like the upside play. He's an athlete. He's sick. He's a beast. Tennessee wide receivers scare me, but I'm ready to get hurt again. A phenomenal prospect as an X-type receiver. I love his game. Yak could be better, but many players have overcome similar issues, and I feel like, you know, it's possible for him to grow. Now it feels like I just saw someone go to a shelter, buy a dog, bring back next day for a different puppy. Yeah, we said that. Yeah, we said that last night. MAXX CROSBY. He's the puppy in that situation. And Trey Hendrickson's the other rescue. They had to rescue another dog. Number 6. Jeremy Bernard. That's not what I said. Young QB's best friend. Great over the intermediate. Strong, physical player. Like his game. Pair him with a young quarterback, specifically Ty Simpson. I think he'll be happy with it. Maybe not a Hall of Famer, but could be pretty good one day. Number 5, KC Concepcion. I like his game a lot. He's all over the place. Analytics and advanced metrics be damned. Here's to hoping he breaks the mold for inefficient slot wideouts. If you're looking for a day 1 slot player and you can't grab Lemon, KC is not a bad consolation prize. A very tight route runner with some physicality concerns. And I hate when receivers drop passes. However, I think he's fixable and can be really great at the next level if he can stay healthy and develop his skills further. Number 4, Omar Cooper Jr., who we all like. He's great for the reasons I just listed. Has a lot of skills, high floor, production, and traits. If he goes to the right system, he's set to be a day one starter. Good, smart athlete that you can trust. Bernard and Skyler Bell, but way better. High floor and relative high upside at the same time. Concepcion is Jeffrey's number 3 wide receiver. Casey just feels like a Bill. He does. He does feel like a Bill. I hope not. I don't think the Bills thing will work if he goes there. But hey, whoever takes him, takes him. I like Casey's game. I do. And I like Omar Cooper's game as well. We'll see. My hot take is that Omar Cooper is the 3rd wide receiver off the board. You guys have been talking him up for a while, and I agree. All right. Let's move into the top 3. The obvious, the big 3. The question is, how do you order them? So I'm going to start with the guy everyone's been talking up, everyone's favorite wide receiver, the Twitter scout darling, Makai Lemon. Makai Lemon. I'm just going to read off my notes here. Casey would be scared of the Rams. Oh, that's a good fit. I like that. I like that a lot. It just feels meant to be. Casey to the Bills. So simple. Makai Lemon's my wide receiver 3. Now, obviously, the gap between our top 3 is pretty slim. Everyone has their knocks. Thing about Makai Lemon is I feel like his ceiling is just a little lower than others. So let me just read my notes here. Makai Lemon, a draft darling who may be really good, but I'm not buying it with the size. The 2025 Bolitnikoff wide receiver. Golly! Jeez. Apparently the camera is a Makai Lemon truther. Makai Lemon's the best receiver in the draft. Let me finish my notes here. With all kinds of comps, from Amon-Ra to JSN to Jahan Dotson, I really feel like he's going to be the first wide receiver off the board and probably be the most reliable wideout in the class. A technical stud and a true football player. Not the greatest athlete, but has maxed out his potential. I just don't know if his ceiling is going to warrant his draft selection, but I'm not rooting against the guy. I want to make that clear. I'm not rooting against Makai Lemon. I think he's going to be very good, and I think more likely than not, he will be the Saints pick at 8. However, I don't see the upside here quite yet, but very high floor. Very polished athlete. So who is my number 1 wide receiver? We'll do this like a Miss America style, where we'll talk about number 1 first and number 2 second. Who is number 1? The Matrix broke with your take. Yeah, seriously. Because he has that big playability, and he plays bigger than his size on the outside, in my opinion. And that's fair enough. He's got the catching ability and the route ability to get open. I think if you get Makai Lemon, you're going to be happy about it. Now, it's a guy that I'd like to get in PPR fantasy leagues for sure. There it is. Okay. Who's my number 1 wide receiver? Is it Tate? Is it Tyson? Is it Chris Brazzle? It's Jordan Tyson. I like Jordan Tyson, man. I do. I don't know if Otis is here or not, but I like Jordan Tyson. Tyson's your number 1. Yes, he is. Forget the health concerns. We're not projecting injuries in March. What's the fun of that? I'm going to assume he's going to be able to play. He's been hurt a lot, and I see the knocks. But damn it, if you take out the injuries, he's just electric. He's so fun to watch. Jordan Tyson's just a lot of fun. He's good at everything. He's pretty athletic. He lives for the big play moments. The health concerns are there, but projecting injuries is just no fun. He's just great in the intermediate and deep field situations. I love what Jordan Tyson brings to the table. Bang, James called his shot. I love Jordan Tyson, man, I do. And you know what? Carnell Tate's awesome. It's just tough to get excited about Carnell Tate. It's very easy to talk yourself into Jordan Tyson. You watch a couple Jordan Tyson games and all of a sudden you feel something. All of a sudden everything makes sense in the world. I like Jordan Tyson. It's tough to give him a comp. Maybe like an AJ Brown. I don't know. Maybe not even that. He's a little slimmer. The injury is why I don't have Jordan Tyson in my top 3. And that's fair. And what I said about Makai Lemon potentially being a the top wide receiver off the board, my rankings are not what I think is going to happen. And I'm talking about Omar Cooper being the 3rd wide receiver off the board. I think that the receiver that he's going to go ahead of will be Jordan Tyson. I think the teams will have to talk themselves out of Jordan Tyson because of the injury. These guys are protecting their jobs at the end of the day. And if you miss Jordan Tyson, I don't want to say it's a miss with Jordan Tyson. I don't want to say it's a fireable offense, but it definitely doesn't make the regime look good. So Jordan Tyson's an interesting scout, no doubt. But I like him a lot, and as a YouTube scout with no skin in the game. He's my number one guy. So let's talk about Cardinal Tate. Big body wide receiver who I read 50-50 balls are made to look like 90-10. Pretty glowing recommendation. Real draft junkies aren't worried about the 4.5 40. I actually clocked him at 4.17. He does a lot well, but his ceiling is capped thanks to his rack ability. Not a crazy high ceiling, but I think he'll be a wide receiver 1. Maybe not a top 5 or top 10 guy in the pros, but he'll definitely be a serviceable wide receiver 1 in the NFL. I think that's a, pretty solid floor for Cardinal Tate. I think he'll be awesome. I don't know if he'll be a Giant. All things considered, I've said this a few times. I'm going to keep waking up with different draft opinions. I have been all over the board this year. Caleb Downs. Maybe I'm getting into receiver. Maybe we should go tackle. Is Jeremiah Love that crazy of a pick? Should they pick Vega? I don't know. Sonny Styles. Hell, maybe get an edge rusher if they're there. Today, I've woken up with the thought that the Giants are going to go offensive tackle. Hopefully, that offensive tackle is Francis Maui-Noah. I don't know if he'll be there. I would assume the Cardinals will take him, and we'll probably do a mock. But I, just wanted to include that. So we're going to do a wide receiver focus mock now. And spoiler, I think the Giants are probably going to go offensive line. So we're going to see how this breaks. So let's pull up the PFF mock here. And yeah, but again, if you're here to talk about Trey Hendrickson, we covered that, but I'm always down to discuss more. And this is also post-free agency, at least post-free agency tampering period. Let's do it like this. I wonder if I have a... Hold on here. You know what? Yeah, we're going to do it. We are going to do it. Hold on. Nice. I got a plan here. You guys are watching the OBS Pro at work. All right, here we go. To the film room. This is not the one I was looking at. This is just straight up not the... Oh, wait, hold on. Yes, it was. Here we are. All right. Welcome back, Mac Jones. All right. Nice. There it is. Cool. That was upsetting me. Okay, cool. I know, I think offensive lineman at 5 is a little higher for a guard or tackle in this draft. Well, get ready, Jeff, because I think an offensive lineman's going 5 and 6. And I know you're a Browns fan. All right, let's do it. Number 1, Raiders trade down and keep MAXX Crosby. No, let's go Raiders, go Mendoza. The ADP is 1. No one's even trying for him to go elsewhere. He's not even 1.1, it's 1. Jets, again, it's boring. I hope they don't, but I think it's going to be Arvell Reese. It's not overthinking. This will be a quicker mock. Cardinals are strange, right? I'm actually starting to think the Cardinals might not go offensive line. I think the Cardinals might go best player available. And I think in their eyes, the best player available very well could be Sonny Styles or it could be an edge rusher. I think the way the linebacker market went this year is going to sour a lot of people on Sonny Styles. I would hope the Cardinals will do it. Love Vikings via trade from the Commanders. What? Oh, that's a mock pick. I was like, that happens? Love to the Vikings via trade. There it is. John was talking about Vikings fans who think they're going to move up for Jeremiah Love. There you go. What makes sense? Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson is a Raven. That's what makes sense. I hope if Tyson drops, Pittsburgh trades up for him. That would be cool. That would be a good fit for the Steelers. That would be a lot of fun. But I don't think the Steelers will go wide receiver, guys. They just traded for Michael Pittman. I don't think they'll go wide receiver. We'll see, though. Cardinals are tough, though. I don't think Jeremiah Love's going to be the pick, although it is possible. It could be Sonny Styles. Could be Caleb Downs. But today, for now, I'm going to have them go David Bailey. I don't know. Gut feeling. I think David Bailey's good. Probably not great, but what makes sense? You're kidding. It makes sense why the Ravens did it. Obviously, the Raiders fans aren't super thrilled, but it makes sense why they did it. And that leaves the Titans, who honestly, I think the Titans are going to go Jeremiah Love, but I think the Titans are going to go Jeremiah Love. That's the end of that sentence. That is. They could go edge. They could go Sonny Styles. But cards take Love or Downs. Maybe. I'm going Bailey today. Hopefully they do, though. I'm not going to give him Francis because I want him for my Giants. Titans, I'm going Love. I'm going Love. I just feel like, it would be cool if the Vikings moved up with the Commanders. But to be honest with you, I think if Love falls to 7, I don't think the Commanders would even want to trade out. I wonder what a Vikings trade up would look like. We'll see that in a second. And I already talked about this. I flip-flop on what my Giants are going to do every day now. But today, just given how they haven't been able to get a guard in free agency and they need to protect Dart, let's not go receiver. Let's not go safety. Let's not go linebacker. Let's go Francis Maui Noah. Cardinals just picked up a running back. They're not going to draft one. They picked up 2, I believe. They could, if you count them re-signing James Conner. They picked up James Conner along with... Wasn't Pacheco. Who else did they pick up? Who else did the Cardinals grab? Tyler Algier. Hello. Browns trading down. Make sure you trade him down. Hell, if Jeremiah Love is there, I could see the Browns trading down with maybe a team like the Vikings. If the Vikings are super eager on moving up for a back, that'd be wild. Probably be 18 plus Grenard and maybe other stuff. Ooh, that would be fun. Damn. Kind of want to do that now. All right, fuck it. Why not? We're going to have the Titans go Sonny Styles. They further shore up that defense. We're changing it. We're changing the script. Because I want to see what this looks like. I want to see the Browns trade down with the Vikings. I want to see it. Believe it and it will happen. Not the Panthers, but the Vikings. Where are they? There it is. Okay. So it would be 18. To move up, it would be 18. It would be a lot. It would be a lot for sure. Probably be 49. Grenard. Where is he? 1849. That still probably wouldn't do it. To move up 12 spots. Trading down with the Chiefs if Love is still there. I don't think Love gets past 7, fellas. I don't. I mean, shoot, man. The Vikings would have to trade maybe even more. Chiefs won't take Love with K9. I don't think so. But they could. They could. If he's there, I wouldn't be that mad at it. I think, honestly, then a 2 next year. Maybe throw in a 5th from Cleveland's end. This is what I think the compensation would kind of look like. Now I'm pissed off. This is what I think the compensation would look like. What do we think? I think this is fair. I think this is the thing both sides would do. And we have a Browns fan and a couple Vikings fans in here. What do we think? Swing is super for the Vikings to trade that far up. Yeah, especially for a running back. Yeah, no. Doesn't make a ton of sense. They'd have to give up a ton. Like a ton, man. But in the world of Hunnaball, we're going to do it. We're forcing the trade. Why can't I? What? We're forcing the trade. Give up our better edge rusher for a running back is crazy dumb. Yeah, probably is. Probably is. But you need a running back, John. Do it. All right. We're going to do it. We're going to do it for Dravion Hemingway and 1X. I just think the only team that would trade that they would trade with is the Chiefs if Love is still there. Again, but I don't think he will be. So we're going to do it. I don't think Vikings fans would be thrilled about this. But for love of the game, Jeremiah Love. Why not? Sure. Let's have some fun. Commanders are, they just got thrown a little bit of a curveball. To be honest, I don't think the pick's going to be Mekhi Lemon. I wouldn't think it would be that crazy, though. It could be Downs. God knows that Washington have been a team with some great safeties in the past. Shout out Sean Taylor, who was awesome. Knowing the Commanders, it could be the Eneman, for God's sake. Yeah, a lot of options on the table here. Also a potential trade down spot for the record. Just curious what teams would be theoretically interested in this. Maybe a team like Miami, if they want to move up and get Caleb Downs. Again, that would have to be a king's ransom. Probably I'm getting Emmett Johnson later since more of an Aaron Jones type, which Terrace head coach likes. What do you mean the Chiefs are getting number 6? Oh, Chiefs would be trading up to number 6. I see. We love to see it. Hell yeah. But I don't think the Chiefs would trade up with Ken Walker. That's the thing. They might take him, but I don't think they'd trade up now they have Ken Walker. Chiefs could move up for a receiver. If they want to jump the Saints, they could. And you know what? I feel like doing trades this morning. Chiefs are moving up, and it wouldn't even cost that much. I say they throw in, what? Their second? Is that too much? Third? No. Second rounder next year? Yeah. Yeah. Right? That's not crazy. Third next year? Wait. Oh, yeah, that's definitely not crazy. Yeah, second, yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Second rounder next year. Chiefs trade K9. Yeah, they trade K9. There it is. Commanders are pissed that the Vikings jumped them in this scenario. So we're doing it. Chiefs trade up. They jump the Saints, make the Saints look dumb, and they take, why not, Mekhi Lemon. There it is. Saints have no clue what the hell to do now. Saints have no idea. I do think the Chiefs moving up for Ruben Bain is also a possibility, but the way the Manders see it, they just netted an extra second round pick and will probably get they'll either get Downs or Bain. The only reason I have my Browns trading Downs is because the address offensive line tackles are not great in this draft. MAXX CROSBY is in fact back. Yes, MAXX CROSBY is back. He's back in Vegas. I think the Browns will go tackle at some point. I think the Browns will go tackle. Now that they have pick 18, 24, and all that other stuff. Who knows? A dupity, yeah. I don't know what you do if you're the Saints here, to be honest with you. This gets tricky now. I feel like they need receiver help. And a receiver has been like screaming at him. I've seen Tyson a little bit. I haven't seen Cardinal Tate a ton. I don't know how the fit with Olave would look. I feel like Olave and Tate's games overlap a lot. Sonny Styles is off the board. They could go Ruben Bain. For the sake of this mock, and team fit wise, I'm gonna cross my fingers that the Saints can't take Lemon. Chiefs just grabbed him. I'm gonna cross my fingers and say that the Saints think Jordan Tyson's medicals check out, and we are going Jordan Tyson. I know that completely contradicts what I said like 10 minutes ago, but still. And the Commanders can't believe it. They traded down and still got Ruben Bain. Good day for Washington. And the Bengals, except for the Chiefs, yeah. And the Bengals, this is the easiest mock ever. Go Caleb Downs. So simple. Dolphins could go many ways with this pick. I think corner is a safe bet. They could go Jermod. They could go Bryce. Bryce. I mean, Bryce Young. It's easy to mock the Dolphins a corner. We flip-flop between Jermod McCoy and Mansour Delane. Today, let's do Mansour Delane. I don't want the Cowboys to get him right now. Cowboys are definitely not going to take Thieneman. They've kind of filled out a couple needs in free agency. They could do something crazy. I don't think they will. You know what? Let's go CJ Allen. We never give him CJ Allen. Nice. Rams can't believe it. Carnell Tate's still on the board right there. So, Bryce Lance. Jesus. Bryce Lance. I don't see Carnell Tate lasting this long. I do. I think one of the major wide receivers is going to fall out. Of course, they're going to go one of these two picks. Question is, do the Rams stir up the offensive line, or do they double down on receiver? Carnell Tate would be electric. He'd help the team out a lot. I'll tell you, the next two picks are going to be Tate and Fano. I just don't know which order. Or maybe Vega, honestly. Vega deserves a nod as well. I feel like, honestly, Carnell Tate's gonna fall. I can't ignore it. I can't ignore it. I feel like Carnell Tate's gonna fall. But then again, I don't know, man. I take it back. Carnell Tate's not gonna fall. I'm mocking him to the Rams. Rams get a slam dunk. So physicals aren't standardized or vary from each team. I don't know. They vary from team to team. Clear. I don't think it was a physical thing. I think it was the Ravens got cold feet and saw they could sign Trey Hendrickson for cheaper and not give up draft capital. So that's exactly what they did. Dobbs, I think them taking Tate. I still think Tate's a giant. I think you guys are gonna take him 5th. I don't see it, but hell, Jeffrey has that opinion. Ravens. They're definitely gonna try and fill the spot left by Tyler Linderbaum. And while I don't think Vega's going to play center, he's a good interior offensive lineman that has been mocked to them pretty frequently. Do the Jags not have a first-round pick? They do not. They traded to Cleveland to trade up last year for Travis Hunter. Welcome, you. Good morning, everybody. I forgot to say that. Drop a like if you haven't already. Good morning. Ham. Bucks are tough. Bucks are really tough. I could see them trading out. But, again, with who, right? Ugh. You know what? Let's not overthink it. Short trip for Akeem Mesidor. Staying in Florida. I like it. I like the fit there. Jets would have loved to end up with a guy like Carnell Tate. They may have moved back up with the Rams. Who knows? But given how the Jets are breaking, based on what everyone's saying, would it be crazy to say they go Ty Simpson and then go Jeremy Bernard at the top of round 2? Would that be crazy? Or the Jags are regretting that trade up now? Maybe. But the Jags ended up being okay. I mean, if you would have said on draft night that the Jags draft pick would have been picked 24, I don't think anyone would be scratching their head. Jets are tough. I think they'll go offense for sure. Question is who? I could see Spencer Fano being the pick for sure. But you know what else I could see? The Browns moving up. That's right. Browns moving up. They send pick 70, and they just eat the 3rd round. Why not? They have enough 2nd round picks to last a ton. Browns move up. They jump the Lions and grab Monroe Freeling. Who said I don't know what I'm talking about here? They jump again. Ty Simpson to the Jets. I see your team taking a risk. There you go. See a team taking a risk. There you go. Kenyon Sadiq, yeah, still on the board. Yeah, Kenyon Sadiq would be awesome. But I don't see him going there. Lions are in shambles at this point. Jerron McCoy's right there, though. I don't think that's bad. Build out some corner depth. I don't think Fano would be the pick here. I think the Lions in particular are looking for a tackle more so than anything. And Spencer Fano is just not. I don't trust him to play tackle at the next level. I honestly think while the needs don't line up with PFF here, I don't care. I think Jerron McCoy is too much of a value at pick 17. And I like it a lot. Thieneman also could have got a look there, but I think the Lions should prioritize secondary depth at this point in the draft. And I think the Jets are a team that are comfortable taking Spencer Fano. So they will, and play him at guard. So simple. Someone was saying Kenyon Sadiq. John was saying Kenyon Sadiq. Well, good news is it's going right now. Kenyon Sadiq to the Panthers. I love that fit. That fit will be very fun. Ty Simpson got beat up. That's why the second half looks so different for him. Exactly. I agree. Cowboys took CJ Allen already. They're probably going to go edge now, just to round out that team, even though they do believe in Rashawn Gary, so to speak. So there's a couple edges on the board here. And they could probably end with any of these guys. I don't know why, but today TJ Parker feels like a Cowboy. So we're going Tej. There you go. I would have said Thieneman, but they picked up 2 safeties, and the Cowboys have never been a team to draft a safety high anyways. Steelers! Potential trade down spot here, to be honest with you. And yeah, you know what? This has been the trade mock. We're doing it. Eagles. I like trading. I like when teams move up 2 spots to specifically jump a team. I like it. Eagles send a 3 next year, and then they get a upgrade there. Yeah, there it is. They send a 3rd next year, and then they move up in the 5th round. Actually, you know what? That's a bit rich. Hold on. And they move up. There it is. That I like more. Swapping comp picks. There it is. And the Eagles move up, and they get themselves a white safety. Dylan Thieneman. There it is. They jump the Chargers, who once again are left holding the bag. The Chargers ran very lazily and poorly, and I'm done pretending like they're going to be good. EMW also could have been in play there, but I don't think it's close between those two. I can't even see the Steelers tie subs and sit behind Rodgers for a year. So you can't see it? I can, but I don't think that's going to be my pick. Chargers, kind of a disaster draft for the Chargers here. They could go tackle. They could go guard. They could go interior defensive line. In fact, that's what we're going to give them today. Caleb Banks, welcome to the Chargers. Hoorah. Steelers, I would have thought wide receiver, but again, they've traded for Michael Pittman, so I don't think that's going to happen any longer. They really could go a multitude of ways here. But honestly, gut feeling, I like Peter Woods. Now the Browns, who ended up with Monroe Freeling and a bunch of second-round picks, now have a lot of flexibility. They have a lot of flexibility. They're not going to go quarterback because Shador is clearly the plan. I mean, if they want to go Ty Simpson, that would be interesting. I'll say that. But I think now's a good time to get their pick of wide receivers. Now, we talked about all these guys. I think pretty much all of them would be awesome options here. Even Denzel Boston. Even Denzel Boston. Like, look at all these. There's such a wealth of receivers here. And I think Browns are going to take one of them. The question is whom? EMW or Terrell? For the Chargers or for the Browns? Terrell could work. I'm going Peter Woods today, though. I like Concepcion a lot. But it's got to be Omar Cooper. It's got to be. Right? Or should it... Denzel Boston feels like a Brown. Jeff saying Casey Concepcion. I tend to go with the fan of the team's take. So we'll go KC. KCC. There it is. And then the Bears go EMW. So simple. Then the Bills, despite them drafting DJ Moore, I don't think it's crazy for them to stick and pick another wide receiver. And as far as what the Bills are doing, they have DJ Moore. I really don't think they can go wrong with any of these guys. They could go a multitude of ways again. They could go defensive line. But I think the Bills should just push the chips to the middle and go receiver again. Why not? KC seems like a Brownie has drop issues. If a team was looking to move up and grab a receiver, that would be a different story. But the Chiefs aren't going to move up. So I don't think there's a lot left. Patriots, maybe. But would the Bills trade with the Patriots on draft night? And besides, the Patriots just trade their guy, pay their guy, Romeo Doubs, $1 million man. Yeah, because I don't think there's... I mean, they could go Keldrick Falk or Terrell. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't see it. I think we're going to need a big run on wide receivers. And that's what I'm going to project. I think Denzel Boston. Why not? See, they should draft Simpson in the first. Maybe. Maybe they should. Omar Cooper seems like a Bill. Well, I'm going Denzel Boston. Mainly because, to me, Omar Cooper seems like a Niner. I think. The thing is that I don't think the Niners would take Denzel Boston. And I want to mock him in round 1. No, I don't. I don't even like Denzel Boston. Never mind. Omar Cooper, you are a Bill. Niners, stick and pick. They go edge. Keldrick Falk finally off the board. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Texans actually addressed offensive line. So they could grab someone else, but I think they could actually take a deep breath here. And maybe even trade down. Who's a team that could use a corner? Who's a team that has a clear hole there because they let one of their main guys walk in free agency? Who's a team that needs to win sooner rather than later before fans get crazy? That's right, the New York Giants are moving up. Clearly the Texans have plenty of draft capital, so they probably won't do this. They already have the Giants' third-round draft pick, for God's sake. But the Giants are moving back in to the first round. They send a third. No, they send next year's second. Who cares? We're getting our corner. Next year's second's a lot to move up 9 picks. Round 3 and round 5. There it is. Round 3 and round 5. Whoa. What? Dan Jones just got signed? Whoa. Giants go Avion Terrell. Wait a minute. It can't be. It can't be. Did that news just break on stream? Didn't they trade with the Texans last year? Yes, they did. The relationship is good. 2 years, 98, worth to 100 million. What's the guarantees? Is it a 1-year deal guarantees wise? Or is it 2 years fully guaranteed? Wow, man. Well, I mean, Vikings trade back into the AM first to KFC. Oh, what the hell? It's covered. There it is. Trade KOC. There it is. Thanks for the 5, John. Vikings trade back into the first and trade KOC. John's pissed. I gotta make this alert box bigger, honestly. That's what we need. But Daniel Jones just got signed. Well, pretty much all the news we were waiting on has been broken today and yesterday. So there's really not a whole lot. I'm glad I'm not gonna have to stream on Thursday. I mean, I'm not glad. I like doing this, but you know, it's pretty obvious that we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna have to. So Indiana Jones, 50 million a year for Dan Jones. Yeah, clap it up for Dan Jones. Yeah, clap it up for Dan Jones. Where's the shirt? Where's the shirt? $50 million a year for Dan Jones. Sure, I guess. If you say so. 1-7 is staying in Indy. Now, I'm going to be honest. It's easy to dunk on the Colts. 50 million is a ton for Daniel Jones a year. Like, that's crazy. And I would assume that the 2 years are guaranteed. What I will say is out of all the scenarios, this is probably the best one for the Colts. And look, Daniel Jones, he's made plenty of money in his career given how he's played. Let's be honest. So I don't feel bad for him that he can't seem to get long-term security anywhere. It's funny the Colts keep kicking the can down the road. I think this is kind of like a Shane Steichen, you better figure your shit out, buddy, or else we're going to pivot quickly. Daniel Jones did get the bag. I would like to see the guarantees and make sure it is 2 years fully guaranteed. We'll find out. But 2-year contract, honestly, all things considered, considering how much of a bind the Colts were in, I feel like this actually isn't the worst deal. They're not stuck with him long term, but they can keep, you know, weighing it out. And if he's good at the end of next year, they can just extend him. Simple. So team friendly deal. There's a lot of sticker shock, as I can see in the chat. People are freaking out. But hey, I honestly don't think this is the worst move. You guys know I've been ripping on the Colts for the past 2-3 days because I thought something like this would happen, but I thought they'd sign him to like a 4-year, $200 million deal. And if that was the case, I would have freaked out. His ceiling is Sam Darnold. Well, Sam Darnold is a Super Bowl champ. Colts had no choice. They traded 2 firsts for Sauce. Exactly. The Colts had pretty much no choice. They kind of have to be all in. Again, I probably would have rather had Kyler given the price, but again, they like Dan Jones. Colts love hometown discounts. I want to see the Colts rating 2. He ranked top 6 in yards and completion percentage. Oh, you know, he led the NFL in yards, ranked top in completion percentage and yards per attempt. I want to see what is the guaranteed money, though. What is the guaranteed money? That is funny. Alec Pierce got a bigger contract than Daniel Jones. Part of the signing, though, was because he wanted to play with Dan Jones in the foreseeable future, I guess. Yeah. River got bum charges trying to lead in just an MVP more. Yes. Come on, man. Where's the Daniel Jones guaranteed money? It was Ravens GM Eric DeCosta who sold the Eagles on Jair Alexander being okay to acquire. Alexander retired shortly after being dealt. I don't buy for a second that what they're selling on Crosby, especially now they landed Hendrickson hours earlier. Yeah, no doubt. But where... Thanks, Stephen A. Come on, man. I guess we're waiting. Everyone's talking about the MAXX Crosby thing. I've moved on. I'm talking about Dan Jones. Well, I guess we'll wait and see for the guaranteed money while we finish this mock draft. But yeah, so there it is. There it is, I guess. Biggest 2-year deal in NFL history. That makes sense. When the Colts transitioned rag Daniel Jones, the play was to always do a deal. Daniel Jones gets $50 million in year 1 and the opportunity to cash in again. Maybe it is just 1 year guaranteed money. That could also happen. Yeah, you wish you could have Herbert over any quarterback of the Raiders. Oh boy. Now this is an argument I'm down for. This is an argument that I'm with. So we'll keep the Daniel Jones. Let's do this. I'm gonna keep the mock draft open. Let's do another window really quick. This news does not escape us, that's for sure. This is a big moment in the NFL. We'll go right here. Nice. That looks good. All right. Cool. So we got that window locked. What did Malik Willis sign for? I think it was similar. Well, Malik Willis was a 3-year deal. I forget the exact number, but Malik Willis was 3 years. Let's find out, actually. There's QB. There it is. Malik Willis was 3 years, $67.5 million. So way less, actually. Way less. Goddamn, 2 years, $100 million. You should watch MLB opening night in New York versus Giants. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, Otis. Thank you, though. I'll pass. Anyway, let's round this out. Chiefs, they already got their receiver. May as well address tackle. If the Giants moved up and got a corner, and I'm fired up. Chiefs can go whichever tackle they like. I'd be shocked if Lomu falls out of the first round. Let's go Lomu. I don't know what the Broncos will do here, honestly. It's tricky. I think the Broncos will like desperately be looking to move out, to be honest with you. But if they have draft capital, not really. This has been the trade mock. Let's go Jets, move up. Jets are moving up. They send something. The Jets have so much draft capital. The Jets send something, man. They send 103 and 207 and get back I don't know, 246 is a sweetener. Why not? Who wants to fly with them? Jets. And then they go up, plain and simple. Ty Simpson. They get the 5th-year option. They jump the Patriots and get their future. How's that been in the chat before? I'm a Ravens fan. What did we just do? What is up, Big Money? Welcome. Is that our first Ravens fan? We've had many Ravens fans, actually. Otis, we've had like 6 join today. But welcome, Big Money. Welcome back, pal. Yeah, Dan Jones got a contract, and MAXX Crosby is no longer a Raven. Trey Hendrickson is, though, and that is noteworthy. Patriots continue to shore up that offensive line with Blake Miller. And the Seahawks, I don't even know what the Seahawks would do. Mike Washington? Why not? Your answer, bitch. Again, this channel does not stand behind Otis' conflictive remarks. I do think Ravens fans are in a fun spot right now. They are the enemy of the day, that's for sure, at least in the NFL circles. What teams do we need in the chat? Texans, Colts, and Bills. That's it. Got everything else. What do we do with the MAXX Crosby situation? You guys pulled a fast one on the league, that's for sure. Otis gonna start bullying me and I have to take Cowboys, take Crosby. Yeah, seriously. Otis is the bully of the chat. Sucks. Hurtful. It's devastating stuff. Okay, this is our mock. In case anyone's wondering, we'll move Dan Jones for a second here. Mendoza, Reese, Bailey, you name it. It's a pretty good mock. A lot of trades. Vikings move up for Jeremiah Love, which doesn't make any sense now in hindsight, but whatever. Chiefs trade up for Lemon. Who else? Someone else moved up. Browns jumped the Lions and grabbed Monroe Freeling. Pretty interesting move, I'd say. Fano goes to the Jets. Other trades. Eagles jump the Chargers. Browns take Casey Concepcion. Giants get back into the first round and take a Clemson corner. PTSD moment. And Jets get back in the first round and take Ty Simpson. Mendoza to the Raiders. There you go. Anyways, so that's that. Let's go back here really quick. Let's talk about Dan Jones for a second, and then we'll call it. So that was our War Room Wednesday. Oh, I gotta do the connections as well. Shoot. Nice. But really quick, by bailing on MAXX, the Ravens have opened up $70 million of cap space. Well, let's not. Well, does that include the Trey Hendrickson deal? Timeline of yesterday, from what I gather. Okay, let's see what Ari has to say, as we're talking about it. 4 or 5 teams, including the Eagles, Colts, Bills, were in talks to Trey Hendrickson's camp Tuesday, trying to hammer out a deal. Chargers weren't even there. Wow. Okay, at least from those teams. Midday, those talks stalled and communication was lacking compared to the morning. Teams have all got to sense something major changed behind the scenes. We know the hashtag Ravens had jumped in and aggressively started pushing to get a deal done in a number bigger than everyone else. Then the MAXX CROSBY trade falling through became public. At that point, the other teams realized Hendrickson was going to end up in Baltimore. This morning, it was a done deal. Trey Hendrickson is a Raven. 4 years, $112 million deal. MAXX CROSBY is back with the Raiders in the facility this morning. Woof. I have to take Crosby for a second round pick. Thank you. There you go. There you go. Ravens cursed. Ravens cursed. You see, people are mad at the Ravens. Clearly, the Ravens knew they were going to do this for at least a day or two after seeing the Trey Hendrickson deal unpack. I wonder what that conversation looked like too. It's like, huh, we could keep MAXX CROSBY, or we get Trey Hendrickson and keep our draft picks. Let's do that. It's a cheap move, but it worked. And Raiders fans everywhere are salty. There you go. Trey Hendrickson is a Raven, and Dan Jones is staying in Indy. That's the news of the day. That's the headline. The breaking news. JJ Redick called it. Different type of basketball. JJ Redick called it. Where's the guaranteed money with Daniel Jones, damn it? Where's the guaranteed money? Is it 1 year of guarantees or 2? That's my question. That's all I want to know. Recovering, he's expected to be ready for the start of the regular season. One source said he absolutely can be ready for training camp. Let's see what Schultz had to say. Leo Chenal is a commander. Well, that happened yesterday, but it's worth mentioning. The Colts, by doing this deal with Dan Jones, the Colts up a chunk of cap space and are planning to make some free agency signings. They were heavily involved in Trey Hendrickson before Baltimore jumped in. I see. That's why you got to do deals quicker. Wow. Okay, here we go. $50 million in 26 before incentives, a $12.2 million increase before the transition tag, and then 38 in 2027 with $10 million guaranteed. So basically a 1 year deal for $60 million. Not even. A one year deal and then a team option that if they decide not to pursue will cost them $10 million. Very team friendly deal for the Colts. $50 million a year, a crazy sticker shock like I keep saying, but that is a very team friendly deal for Indy. Didn't he play for the Bengals? He did play for the Bengals, so he stayed in division to try and terrorize the Cincinnati Bengals. Wants to keep Crosby because it'll suck knowing we had 2 firsts. You're not going to get that value back. If I'm the Raiders, I'll try and trade Crosby for first and second at least. Draft no lineman, depot line classman, Mendoza to die like Gino and Janty. That's definitely a good plan. The Raiders address defense pretty well this free agency, but they also got Linderbaum for a pretty penny. It's safe to say. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the Raiders do. My money is on them keeping MAXX CROSBY. However, I don't think them trading him for a first and a second round pick would be crazy. We'll see though. But yeah, very smart deal. I agree. Real smart deal for the Colts. It's easy to rip on them like, oh, they paid Daniel Jones $50 million a year, but yeah, considering the Alec Pierce trade signing, this is much better. That's the dumbest signing ever. What, Daniel Jones? Not a believer, Sam? Not a believer in the Daniel Jones hype trade? I think the deal itself makes sense, but I understand the pushback. Trey Benson is trending. Okay. But yeah, fellas, that is the news. Does anyone have any other takes on the Daniel Jones trade, my mock, NFL draft wide receivers, Trey Hendrickson, the Ravens, MAXX CROSBY, hell, Bam Adebayo? Drop them now, because the stream's going to be coming to a close soon. At first, Colts deal looked bad, but with guarantees seems fair. There you go. I agree. That too. The Daniel Jones trade as well. We have the 2 dumbest signings ever in one day. They should trade Crosby for Bam Adebayo. Oh, goodness. War Room Wednesday. Hair's crazy. Long hair, don't care. I gotta get a haircut, honestly. That's gonna be tough. That's gonna be a tough stream. First stream off a haircut. But yeah, what a morning. What a morning. I'll take Dan Jones over Richardson every day of the week. I think, yeah, you and 32 NFL teams. Yeah, clearly. That is true. But again, would you take Dan Jones or Kyler? That's the question. Would you take Dan Jones at 50 or Kyler for like 2? Value-wise, the Colts really could have had some money to spend had they gone the Kyler route. But why rock the boat? Richardson's gonna back up Dart soon. I wouldn't hate that. I mean, we got Jameis, but Richardson as a 3rd-string quarterback would be a lot of fun. Maybe Richardson will back up Cam Ward. Brian Daboll loves developing quarterbacks. He could do 2 at once. It's possible. High ceiling guy. Anthony Richardson is so damn fast. It's crazy that he's lazy and injury prone. He is so damn fast. Maybe play him at tight end. I don't know. Shoot, crazier things have happened. But yeah, that is the current state of the NFL. Kyler can't see over the O-line. Well, that's fair. That's true. I'm not a Kyler guy. I'm floating a question here. I am not a Kyler guy. That should be my channel banner or my channel bio. I'm not a Kyler guy. Good for the Colts, man. I was ready to tear them a new one if they gave Dan Jones 4 years, $200 million. Raider Nation over Flog Nation. There it is. Raider Nation represent. Colt Nation represent. If any Colts fans join, please let me know. I think AR can work if he plays in the spring league and comes back in 2 years. Jeez. We think AR can work if he sits for 2 years. Jeez. Another Raider fan nation here. There's like a million, Otis. There's been like 10 today, which is fun. Go Raiders. Raiders represent on YouTube Live. I like it. And Ravens do too. Shoot. I see Mac Jones start again this year. He had some fun times with the Niners. We'll see if he stays there. I think Mac Jones has an argument to be a starter for some teams. Maybe the Cardinals. That's about it. Maybe the Steelers, if you want to get real frisky with it. Harrison Jr. and Michael Wilson did better in fantasy with Brissett versus Kyler. Well, yes, but fantasy is fantasy. It's not reality. Kyler's a beast. Let me make this bigger. And then, yeah. Well, MAXX CROSBY's a Raider again. Trey Hendrickson is a Raven. Bam Adebayo is in the history books. Dan Jones is signed a 2-year, $100 million deal, which is more like a 1-year deal with a team option with $10 million in guaranteed money. And Chris Brazzell is going to be good. Good summary of this stream. The opera sucks. The opera sucks. I much prefer ballet and basketball. 49ers have a high asking price for Mac, as they should. He might have a Pro Bowl season. He almost did. Cards, Jets. I'd still start Mac. I'd probably take Mac over a lot of guys the Jets have. But they got Geno. That's their plan, I think. Geno is their plan. For some reason. So there you go. Geno's a Jet. Again. What am I going to have for breakfast? Is it too early for Chinese food? 8:40 in the morning? Is that too early for chicken chow mein? Probably. Yeah. I don't know. There's been a fun few days of streaming, though. Streamed 3 straight days. Not going to be on tomorrow, but we'll be back on Friday for F It Friday, where I want us to share football takes and recap free agency. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. So bring your hottest takes on It Doesn't Know Any Ball. That's not the first one to say that, James. But yeah, so bring your hot takes on Friday at 6:30-ish West, 9:30 Eastern, where we will be doing call-ins, mail rooms potentially, and just throwing hot takes at the wall. A day where no one can be held accountable. F It Friday. Chick-fil-A breakfast. It's probably too early before 10:30. It's never too early for chicken chow mein. Over under Jets get interception this year. They signed Nashawn Wright, who got 5 last year, which is 5 more than the Jets did. So hopefully, if the Jets go 2 straight seasons without interception, that would be crazy. Push for interceptions, push. Now that Max is back on the Raiders, they should stay on a 4-3 defense. Definitely. That's, yeah, for sure. Don't forget Mountain Time. Can't forget Mountain Time. The fantasy time. Chick-fil-A breakfast before 10:30, but we're protesting Chick-fil-A breakfast. They made me wait in that line and they didn't even serve me. I was so mad. But yes, Raider Nation represents. Dan Jones got paid. And go Giants. Still bleeding blue. That's all I got. If you're new to the stream, we stream Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Sundays, and probably other days when there's NFL news. So there's football, there's Hunnaball, and Bam Adebayo is a complete fraud. That's pretty much all I have to say. So let me pick a song here. It is no longer Mario Day, so let me get a different song here. All right. You guys have a sick rest of your day. Good morning to one and good morning to all. Happy late International Women's Day. Happy late Mario Day. And I present